Welcome everyone to this week's episode of The Future in Lung, presented by Teen Life Ministries. I'm Carson Foley, the host, and I'm super excited that all of you guys are here. I'm super excited that you've chosen to take about 10 minutes with me just to go over how you can develop as a leader, starting from a young age. And today's topic is something that I'm super passionate about and something that I really enjoy talking about, so I'm really pumped for that. And today we're just going to be simply going over two questions. You can write them down, you can think about them, ponder them. Today's topic is drive, not like car driving, but drive as in what drives you to do something. So today we're talking about two questions that will discover everything, that will go over everything that needs to be talked about for the subject, and that is, what gets you up in the morning? And what keeps you doing that thing? Again, what gets you up in the morning, and what makes you keep doing that thing? So I want to start with the first question that I threw at you guys of what gets you up in the morning. And this is something that I took very literally starting this year. A very literal interpretation of what gets you up in the morning. And I remember when it was earlier this year, I was sitting just uncontent with my life, and not as like I don't want to live, but uncontent as in I didn't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to make a difference, but I didn't know how, and I wanted to start somewhere. And one of my biggest things was that I felt like I didn't have enough hours in the day, and so I chose to try to change that. I made a decision to try to change how many hours there were in a day. And there's obviously 24 hours. But what I was realizing was, I was getting in bed, around 9:30 on a school night. Getting into bed, not doing a whole lot, just sitting there on my phone, going through YouTube, going through Facebook, going through Instagram, going through whatever, just to mindlessly waste time away. And so I incorporated a whole new sleep regimen where I would go to sleep at 8:30, and I'm still doing that. Going to bed at 8:30 and waking up at 4:15, which is completely so different than what is your idea of what a teenager is supposed to do. Your typical teenager goes to bed at 2 a.m., playing video games, and wakes up at noon. Not on a school night, but that's the whole idea, and I wanted to be different. And so I took this idea of, what gets you up in the morning very, very literally, and I literally got up earlier to accomplish what I wanted to accomplish. And one of the first things was, with summer coming up and everything, I wanted to get in better shape. And so what that allowed me to do at 4:15 in the morning is it's very quiet, it's very peaceful. And so I wanted to work on projects, work on, this podcast, work on different things, while also being able to have time in my day to go to the gym and actually, get in better physical condition. And so when I would get up, and I get up at 4:15, and it allows me to quietly work on something that was, this project, this podcast, and so that's what got me up in the morning, was just knowing I would be able to actually have more time in my day to do things that mattered. Let me say that again. When you realize what gets you up in the morning is realizing that you can do something that actually matters. So many times, teenagers, adults, elderly, anyone alike, we waste so much time throughout the day. If you look at your schedule, 95% of people's schedules look like this. They wake up at 8:30 a.m., they shower, they get ready, they eat breakfast, they go off to work, and, maybe not 8:30, 8 a.m., and then they get to work by 9. They work their 9 to 5 with maybe a lunch break in there where they go and grab food, or they work through their lunch break, and they're stuck in an office or at a construction site for 8 hours in a day, doing whatever their work is in a classroom, whatever your profession is. And then after they go to that profession, and after they work the 8 hours, they come home, they eat dinner, maybe work some more, because some people come home and still work, or they, see their family. And, there's not a lot of time in there for critical thinking, for self-development, for being able to do things that you're passionate about, because so many people are worried about I need to, bring home the dollar. I need to bring home money. I need to do X, Y, and Z in order for me to be happy. Uh, but when it comes to drive, this quote is so important right here. When it comes to drive, it's said that you can earn another dollar or you can make another sale, but time is the only non-renewable resource. Time is the only non-renewable resource. So how you invest your time and how you incorporate your time into your life is so important to everything. How you utilize every second of the day, and you truly you invest it into a project, and you invest it into your family, and you invest it like it's money. I mean, people are so sacred about the dollar and what it means to their family and how it can change everything. But it is so important that we invest our time like we invest our money. We hold on to time like we hold on to money. And what will come of this, when we realize how important time is, it will increase our drive to do things that matter. Because when you realize that you have 30 minutes, if you have 30 minutes in your day to do something good, or to, free time, stuff that you can choose how to use that 30 minutes, some people will waste it away on things that don't matter. Maybe they'll watch TV, or maybe they'll scroll through Instagram or scroll through Facebook. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong in going through social media. I use social media every day. There's nothing wrong in going through social media. But I think it's super important that we are very strategic in when we do it, and we are very we're doing it in a way that's not sucking our lives away. And when you realize that you have 30 minutes to do something that matters, you are going to invest this time so much more carefully, because you realize the value of time. For most parents, you have 18 years with your kids. For most parents, hear me out, you have 18 years with your kids. And for years that they actually remember, saying that they maybe start actually making memories around 10 years old, like things that stick with them and developing them as people and as adults, you maybe have 10 years, 8 to 10 years of true development time that could affect their whole life. You have 8 to 10 years to impact your kids. If you are, going through your day-to-day routine and you have an extra hour, maybe it's time to step away from the keyboard. Maybe it's time to not do those things and invest that time into something that matters, investing into people, investing into your kids. Maybe you're out there and you're single, you're living the bachelorette life, and you're just trying to make something happen. And you have, say 30 minutes away from work and different things, and you have that time to invest. Maybe it's you want to invest in a side hustle, they say. Something on the side to maybe bring in a little extra revenue to allow you to do more things. Whatever that is, make it worth the time. Make it worth it. And have some urgency behind it. So what gets you up in the morning? Why do you wake up? Realize why you wake up. Realize why you raise your head out of bed every single morning to do the thing you are doing. Because if you can't think of the thing that gets you up in the morning, then whatever gets you up in the morning won't be there. And one day it's going to be gone, and you're not going to want to get up in the morning. You're not going to want to do everything with an urgency. You're not going to want to be, truly passionate with your time and truly invest your time if there is nothing there to get you up. So first, step one to understanding drive is realizing what gets you out of bed every single morning. And the second is how are you going to sustain that? How are you going to be impactful with the time that you allot yourself? What keeps you doing that thing that gets you out of bed? And so for me, what keeps me from not getting up, what keeps me from sleeping in an extra 2 hours? Well, one, I wouldn't see growth. Growth is huge for me. Growth is one of those things that I feel like is super important in my life. Growing as a man, growing physically, growing emotionally, growing relationally with people. because this is something that I'm passionate about, is just growing. I think growing is so important to teenagers' lives, important to people in general, is this idea of growing. And so I think that if you learn how to grow, and you grow on a day-to-day basis, and you continually grow with everything you do, then that will develop you into a person that you want to be. And so for me, that's what keeps me doing what I do every day, because it's something that's intangible. It's not like a dollar. A lot of people's their idea of what keeps their drive going is they want to make more money. They want to sell more product. And for me, I don't feel like that would work. You could say because I'm a teenager and I don't have a lot of like dollar physical things, but like for a lot of teenagers, it's grades. They want to get the best grade possible, so that's what drives them every single day, because they want to get into that college and they want to go into that profession. They want to achieve X, Y, and Z, and that's what they hold on to. But I try to focus on something that's maybe that's more intangible, something that can't be necessarily achieved, but you can constantly be going towards it. You can constantly be improving, because you can always be growing. Everyone can always be growing. You can always grow, no matter who you are. And that's why I chose growing as my idea of what I'm shooting for every single day. And so you need to initialize, and you need to see what that thing is that you need to hold on to, something to keep you motivated throughout the day. And today I just want to end with this point and this quote, because I'm also certain of this idea with purpose, and what it means to be purposeful, with your time, being purposeful with your money, being purposeful with your relationships. And I want to end with this quote, and it's one of those things that I live by. When there isn't a purpose behind the passion will die. Let me say that again, but very slowly, and I really want you to hold on to this. When there isn't a purpose behind the passion will die. When there's no purpose behind what you're doing, when there's nothing that gets you up in the morning and keeps you going, when there's nothing there, the thing you say you're quote-unquote passionate about doesn't matter. It's not going to sustain, because there's nothing substantial about passion without purpose. There's nothing more beautiful than a purposely driven passion. When people have a purpose in what they're passionate about, that's when you see all these amazing stories about people changing people's lives. So I want to challenge you as you go into whatever your job is, you're going into whatever your profession is, that you live a life with purposely passionate effort, driven by purposeful passion. And just remember that if there is no purpose behind the passion, then the passion will die. So that's my challenge for you guys, is to find the purpose behind the passion, to truly figure out what your purpose is and how you want to apply that to your passion. And when you figure that out, the whole idea of drive and what motivates you will come with that, because you'll want to do something every single day. You'll want to accomplish more every single day. And that's going to lead you into so many amazing places. So I appreciate you guys joining me and listening to what I have to say. And I'm excited to come to you guys every week with a brand new episode. So subscribe and share with your friends if you believe that they should hear this message of purposely driven passion and this idea of drive. So thank you guys, and have a fantastic day.